The first of a series of hearings are being held this week out in Aurora, Colorado, for James Holmes, who shot up the Century Theater, we believe, there in Aurora, going back 6 months ago now. And the testimony is gory, bloody. I mean, police officers are testifying that there was so much blood on the floor that they were slipping and sliding in it and unable to get a good footing. And others are testifying bodies were so mangled by the bullets that were fired that police officers carrying bodies out and putting them in the police car, not having the time to wait for the EMS services to get there to deliver people to the hospital, that they could not tell where some of those bodies were male or female. It's just very, very bloody, the testimony. But here's the deal. You also know that the Sandy Hook families have now organized and will be probably going across the nation like the 9/11 families did, promoting the gun violence as the scourge of modern times. Now, what we need to come to terms with, the Second Amendment gives everybody the right to own guns. While I mourn and lament with all sense of condolences of sympathy to the families that have lost their children, loved ones, or friends, or even their children to gun violence. God knows, my heart pleads, and I pray for you on a daily basis, and somehow or another you misinterpreted my understanding of my statements regarding these issues. Then I ask you to please forgive me, because my sympathy, as deep as it possibly can be found, is certainly with you. However, I believe this move to remove guns from the hands of people in America. Now, you listen to me very carefully, please. Listen to me very carefully. I'm convinced that this attempt to remove guns from the hands of Americans is the precursor to the dictatorial government that we will ultimately have to face. And let me tell you why. I'm not basing this on the theories about whether Sandy Hook was a hoax or not, or whether the shooting in Aurora was a hoax or not, or whether any of these events are planned and staged to draw public ire over the matter. It's not based on that. As we can argue that anytime you want, I'll be delighted to talk to you about it. I'm open to your discussion. What I am basing my arguments on, my friends, and I want you to listen to me very carefully, I'm basing my arguments on the Bible, on the Word of God, and on the most trusted person of the Bible. Not that any of them are untrusted. I might have some problem with Samson, that, and a few others maybe, but Jacob and Laban, that crowd. But Jesus made these predictions, prophecies, and statements of fact that the world will reach a point where it will be at war with itself. That'll be brother against brother, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and more specifically, father against son and mother against daughter. Jesus said that these days would come. And then there would be a time of the great battle when he himself would re-enter into our space and into our time, that he would re-enter because there will be no preaching that will solve humanity's problems. There will be no amount of love or money or charity that will solve humanity's problems. It will have to be solved at the edge of a sword, that a battle will have to be enjoined, and that there are people that are absolutely incorrigible. There are people that will not hear the truth. We call it the Battle of Armageddon, but there are several stages and steps before we get to Armageddon, and many dictators will come along and recognize that they want ultimate power. They want power, and I'm convinced that Obama is one of those, and it is also the government's plan to take guns out of the hands of the American people so that it will be easier to control them. One will argue, man, you're just fantasizing. Our government is civil. We're just going to get better as a people. There'll be world peace everywhere, and and everybody will be, loving one another and sitting down and giving flowers and eating chocolates and sipping tea. That's where the world is going. It's just a very peaceful. We just have to work out a few more kinks and get a little bit more socialism, get everybody lifted up so everybody can have, health care, and everybody can have housing, and everybody have food stamps, and we're just going to have a beautiful world. Well, you're a damn fool if you believe that. I mean, you're crazy It isn't going to, and it only gets worse. The Bible clearly states that it's going to get worse. So the Bible is not against the possession of weapons. The Bible is not against the use of weapons. Jesus is not against the use of weapons. Jesus states that it's appropriate to use weapons. It's appropriate to have them. And the ultimate, what will happen here, the ultimate work of the Lord Jesus Christ will be to come with a sword, and that blood will run. I'm believing the Bible. So you go believe who you want to believe. You can go believe. I don't listen to any of these idiots that talk about this world to come that will not somehow or another include the prophecies of John the Revelator or the prophecies of Jesus. If you think that they're going to be able to overcome them, then you go ahead. You believe them. I don't care. Go ahead. You're the first one enter into hell. They'll have a cell in hell for you. But having said that, I think it's important that we realize the way that Obama is going to take guns, and he's going to be the one, he's been assigned this from Satan. The way he will take guns is by firing up the dung-head media. You know how they like to have causes. And they're going to get all the movie stars and all the actors and all of them. They'll be out on the trail talking about how guns need to be removed. But, the thing I find ironic about this is that when black people were killing one another in Chicago and still are killing one another in Chicago, like there ain't no end. I mean, they're killing us like fun on Sunday. I mean, they're killing it like killing black people like the 4th of July in Chicago. Nobody ever says anything about we ought to have gun control, when 30 black people are killed in Chicago, or little babies are killed in their mother's back seat of their car, or 10 people are shot down on Western Avenue and 79th Street in Chicago. Nobody says a word about it, but they're going to all come out, they're going to drag them all out, and they're going to tell you that you must give up your guns. And then you're going to get these Northeast politicians. And this is going to be a real cultural, if you will, and partisan divide, because what you're going to see in the people who are in the rural part of the world, they're not going to be so willing, whether they're Democrat or Republican, to give any kind of power to this movement to disarm America. And that's what it is. I mean, it's a disarmament. I would suggest, of course, nobody's going to listen, and of course it doesn't make very much sense, but I want to say it anyway. I would suggest before we allow the government to disarm red-blooded, Bible-believing, gun-toting Americans, before we allow ourselves to be disarmed, why don't America disarm its army? Yeah. Why don't we have nuclear disarmament? Yeah. Why don't we disarm the police? Yeah, that's what I say. I mean, if you talk about disarmament, I mean, what's fair is fair. So get ready for the media, the dung-head media, to now start everywhere you see. They're going to be talking about how horrible it is, and anybody who supports the Second Amendment, how awful they are. And when the founding fathers, when the Second Amendment was added to the Constitution, it wasn't the day we're living in now, which is just the precursor, the prelude to the removal of the things in the Constitution that people like Obama and others like him and don't like, and they want to start the process of removing those things. And if they can remove the Second Amendment, they can remove the First, the Fourth. How about removing the 13th? That sounds like a good idea. In fact, I want to start a campaign. Let's remove the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. That's what I want to do. I think that's the best thing for the planet. We could do that. But having said all that, my friend, so you're going to have people like this mayor here in New York, Michael Bloomberg. He's hot on the gun issue. By the way, Rudy Davis posted up. Do we have a Rudy Davis clip? Rudy Davis posted up a clip last night offering a $1,700 reward because Mayor Cory Booker is asking people to be snitches, to snitch on anybody they know with a gun, even people with a license to have a gun. Let's see what Rudy has had to say, and I'll be back with some closing comments. Rudy's on the right track.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rudy, and I just watched a very disturbing video of Mayor Cory Booker with Newark, New Jersey, and I'll put the link in the information bar, and I highly recommend you watch the video yourself. In this video, Mayor Cory Booker is hiring snitches. He's offering $1,000 rewards to people who report others that are carrying guns. Now, I have to wonder why we don't get passionate about hiring snitches to capture pedophiles, and why we have to have such passion to offer these types of rewards to people who carry guns. But having said that, I would like to hire my own snitch. I would like to offer a 1 ounce American Eagle gold coin to anyone who can provide information that results in Mayor Cory Booker being convicted and being sentenced to prison for at least 6 months. For the first person who can provide any information on any illegal activity by Mayor Cory Booker that results in his being put in prison for at least 6 months, I will give you this 1 ounce gold American Eagle coin valued near $1,700 at this point in time. In his video, he says it's time to stand up. And I think it's time to stand up as well. If you are a gun owner in America, it's time to stand up against these do-gooder politicians who want to make a name for themselves by grabbing our guns. It's time to stand up, and enough is enough. And I offer 1 ounce gold American Eagle coin to the first person that can provide any information on illegal activities by Mayor Cory Booker that results in his imprisonment for at least 6 months. It's time the American public got these do-gooder politicians out of office and replaced them with real men who understand what the Constitution and freedom and gun rights are all about. May God bless and protect the gun owners of America, and may he bring divine justice to the wicked people of the world.
All right, now what we're going to do is that we're going to run that as a commercial. Well, not a commercial, as a spot. Probably once or twice every hour in the Manning Report. So we're going to run it again in the next hour because really it's sort of an advertisement. I mean, it's not a traditional one, but it's an opportunity for people to collect $1,700 if they know anything that Cory Booker has done that would lead to his conviction and imprisonment. So I'm going to post that up on our Manning Report the way I'd be posting up Organo Gold Coffee or anything of that nature. You listen to the Manning Report, everybody. I'm James David Manning, and I'm convinced that, it's going to, I was praying the other day, and this matter of Obama endorsing same-sex marriages, for many people, that came out of the blue. And for many preachers and church people, they're still reeling with it, and they're trying to adjust themselves and to defend their situation of support of this bastard from Kenya. But I saw way back when what y'all are just beginning to wake up to now. And you ain't seen nothing yet. If you give up your guns, you ain't seen nothing yet. I'm James David Manning, everybody. This is the Manning Report. I'll be right back with the next hour of the Manning Report, and also a rebroadcasting of Rudy's offer of $1,700 to anybody who gets that Cory Booker to go to jail. Don't forget, follow us at Dr. James David Manning. That way you'll get every tweet that I tweet, and you'll be kept abreast of all the things that we do. Moreover, go to our Facebook page at Dr. James David Manning and like us there. And you'll be able to, also be kept abreast of all the things that we're doing here in Harlem. Yeah, that's right. So like us at Dr. James David. Go to our Facebook page at Dr. James David Manning and like us, and then follow us at Dr. James David Manning. And so we'll stay connected 24 hours a day. If I happen to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I want to tweet something, you'll be one of the first to be made aware of it. But the other thing is that I want to encourage everybody to download the Shoutcast app to your web access device, whether it's your iPad, your tablet, your computer, your iPhone, your Android, whatever. With Android, you're going to need a different type of a system. But I'm going to tell you something, and you can email me and tell me I was wrong. But I want to convince you to start listening to the Manning Report in the middle of the night. And to start listening to the Manning Report every night at 8 o'clock in the evenings. And just let it run. You don't have to listen to the whole thing. But maybe you want to listen to it. I'm going to tell you, you're going to really enjoy listening to the Manning Report off hours. We're live every day between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock. But when we're off, you can download the Shoutcast app. if you're driving around in your car, working, or whatever it is that you're doing. And if you're home, you can always log onto your computer, the 24/7 encore presentation of the Manning Report, and you are going to have your socks blessed off of you. You might even start talking in toes. I'm James David Manning, everybody.
All true, all the time.